I thought Jayne Mansfield was all about the squeals.
Yeah, I'm just a perfectly normal American girl.
Hamburgers, what for?
Oh, Daddy.
But Miss Marlowe is the titular head of the company.
But that isn't true. While she did find fame as an exhibitionist, publicity-hungry, squealing bombshell, that was just how she transformed herself so that she could rise from an attractive bit player to a full-fledged star. Mansfield had a lot more to offer, though. She was known to be intelligent, multilingual, and cultured, demonstrating proficiency on the violin and piano. But once she was known for this bubbly image, she found it hard to escape. As she said herself, they're more interested in 40, 21, 35. It didn't help that everyone, from her audience to her studio, was exhausted by her relentless efforts to promote herself. The oversaturation was a lot. The bubbly, bombshell Jayne will always be the image for which she is most famous. And she is a fascinating creation. But even though it wasn't always easy to do so, Mansfield did show other sides of herself in her work. In the beginning, she was a more subdued bombshell, hired to look gorgeous in a series of small roles. She could almost seem shy. Sometimes there was a little bit of the femme fatale about her.
All right, where did I leave you?
Back at the Can-Can Club.
I left you at the...
At the Can-Can.
Jayne became the famous Miss Mansfield, starring in films like The Girl Can't Help It, Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter, and in a substantial role for Kiss Them For Me, where the full squealing sex symbol image is in play. This brief period was the peak of Jayne's stardom, but that persona she created would be a part of her image for the rest of her life, and would follow her beyond the grave. Even in these years, Mansfield was showing other sides of her persona, though the squealing sex goddess grabbed the largest spotlight. In 1957, the year after The Girl Can't Help It was released, she was complex and subdued in The Burglar.
We got to talking about this and that, and she tells me she's crazy about John Facenda.
John Facenda? He's a news reporter. He's on television. He's on every night.
At 11 o'clock for 15 minutes.
And she gave a strong dramatic performance in the downbeat ensemble piece, The Wayward Bus. The bubble had burst for Mansfield, though. When Hollywood turned its back on her, she found work in Europe, and many of the films she made there showed a Jayne opposite to the image that had brought her fame. She wore a bizarre array of colorful wigs in the cheesy, campy The Loves of Hercules in 1960, in which she starred opposite her bodybuilder husband, Mickey Hargitay, who did not love the camera as much as it loved him. I was fascinated by the more somber Jayne I found here, and I loved how her voice was so smooth and seductive.
Why are you so strange? What makes you so surprised that you've lost your voice and cannot even thank me?
Well, it wasn't her voice. Turns out that was actress Carolyn de Fonseca, an actress who found her greatest success in voice dubbing.
Man I know hit a Pythagorean after the raid on Malin the carpenter.
Oh.
Chromis, the schoolmaster.
De Fonseca also voiced Jayne in The Wild World of Jayne Mansfield, which was completed and released after Mansfield's death. She also spoke for Jayne in Primitive Love and Dog Eat Dog.
Hi, I'm Jayne Mansfield.
Crackers, can I say anything?
Yes, that's right. Thanks. I just arrived.
Mansfield did have the chance to show another side of herself, voice and all, in Too Hot to Handle, where she is part bombshell Jayne and part subdued Jayne. As with The Burglar, she showed again how well she fit into the crime genre, playing a nightclub owner in 1960's It Takes a Thief. And while that's De Fonseca on the soundtrack, Mansfield is great, trashy fun in Dog Eat Dog. When Jayne Mansfield died in a car crash at the age of 34 in 1967, it was hard to say, in what direction she was headed. A combination of bad decisions, turbulent relationships, and alcoholism had brought her down, but she'd shown herself able to adapt, succeeding on stage and screen, and always finding a new path forward. Mansfield had more to offer than she was given opportunity to share, but it's impressive what she managed to do in such a short time, playing that squealing bombshell and everything beyond.